Let me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet. Let me get a beat, I kick it feet like. Let me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet. Let me get a beat, I kick it feet like.
Monday morning, you wake up. This is the day you don't have to check email. You don't have to go to a job. You don't have to do anything. You get to do whatever you want to do. Congratulations, you, my friend, are in retirement. What did that feel like?
It was surreal, but it was also, I don't know, it was quirky because the first thing I did was reach for my work phone and I didn't have it. So now I'm down to one phone, which is a pretty damn good feeling, I can tell you that. But it was then, crazy as it is, I realized, for my home office here, I had that little dongle for my big monitor, my keyboard and mouse. I left it in my county laptop I turned in. So I kind of sent a text to my replacement, the new CISO, and I was like, "Hey, Charlie, is there any way I can come get my dongle from my home system?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, sure, come on in." And it was really weird. I walked into that place and I had to knock on the door to the suite, and the admin there was like, "Didn't you retire?" Buzzed
Now
me in and walked
you're on the
into
other
my
side.
I walked into my old office where he was now sitting, and I had to sit on the other side of the table. It was kind of weird.
Wow. Yeah, that's what.
Really cool.
And as you're talking to him, I'm sorry, what was his first name?
Charlie.
Charlie. So when you're looking at Charlie, you're having that conversation, but your eyes are probably like kind of looking around the room like, oh, I see that there's a pen there and there's a plant there and there's books here. And yeah, that's got to be a surreal feeling, especially after 23 years. Did you ever think when you were there day one, hey, this is a place I can hang out for a quarter of a century?
Absolutely not. No way. When I went in there, it was amazing. I was shocked when I got to Fairfax. I grew up here. I grew up in Falls Church. Fairfax was always known as one of the big rich counties in the country. They'd have everything, and I got there, and from an IT perspective, from county government, I was rather shocked. It was in disarray. It was my opinion, what I thought when I got there, let alone it took 6 months for them to hire me after I did the first, couple interviews. And, then when I got there, I was reporting to two separate people who both had different agendas. I never met the CIO for like a couple of weeks because she was out doing her thing. And then, coming into this enterprise, it wasn't, I didn't even call it an enterprise. It was two firewalls, an IDS, and a flat network. So if you knew how to map a drive in Fairfax County, you could map a drive to data that had nothing to do with your job, pretty sensitive data. And I was rather shocked. It was really eye-opening. And but it also, in the back of my mind, I just thought, my God, we've got something we can build. I can build something here. But I got to know, what kind of budget do I have? What kind of staff? And I came in, there were 4 people that were supposedly security staff, which, they really weren't. And they were just people who were thrown in and assigned to work in security because my predecessor, he had checked out a long time from what I understood. And, and they were mainly a mainframe shop. So, when I was at corrections before that, we had gone to client server. We had started to fade off. We built the first fiber ring in the state of Virginia through all the prison systems. I'd started out on the help desk there, worked up to be an engineer, was doing fiber and putting it in. And that success is what I think pushed me forward to move to Fairfax, because in corrections, I noticed a lot of things were going on that weren't real kosher from a security perspective. So I found out a few things, I figured out a few things, and that's where I got the title at corrections to become the CISO. And we started doing the things that we needed to do there as an enterprise to become cyber, prolific and doing what we need to do. And going up to Fairfax was a shock. I'm telling you, to see that, a majority of the internet use was porn use. People were running their businesses off the email. And one of the main reasons the CIO created the position, and it was the first CISO in Fairfax. The position was that they had bandwidth issues, They had come off of the internet from NIMDA, and nothing had ever been right since then. So I essentially was, brought in and said, hey, here's the things you need to do or things that you can do. Don't ask for money. Don't ask for staff because you're not going to get it. So what you did at corrections, we want you to do it here, but with less.
Unbelievable. So wait, let me just make sure I get this straight. You're kind of like the Johnny Cash that walked into Folsom Prison and laid down a track, pun intended, locked down and make sure that you were securing, how ironic, securing that facility.
Yep. Like what you said in the beginning is everybody in our industry and in my field, you don't ever see them stay anywhere for a long time. And, I guess I'll put that back to my military experience that I had, my father, my mother, and what they did for me as a kid. Once you commit to something, that's your commitment, and to me, I never felt like the job was over, so I could never go anywhere anyway. And believe me, the job, after a few years there and being successful in some of the endeavors we did, I got the offers. But I guess it was the civil servant in me that, and I guess my patriotism, everything else, I believed that the mission was never done. And this decision to leave now, I didn't have to leave, but it was very hard to do. But I also, I'm getting up in age. I've got 12 grandkids. We've
Get out of here. 12
grandkids.
grandkids. I can only imagine at the Dent house this Christmas, you're going to have the 12 days of Christmas and every kid's going to sing their line. But before we do that, let's get into it. Are you ready to do this?
Let's go.
All right. I don't know if we're going to have any singing here today, guys, but my name is EP. His name is Michael Dent, and I welcome you guys all to another episode of Epic Hype.
Feet. Let me get a beat, a beat, get a kick your feet, like. Let me get a beat, a kick your funky like feet. Let me get a beat, a beat, get a kick your feet, like. Let me get a beat, a kick your funky like feet.
All right, guys. Today's episode is powered by CyberUptive, the modern MSSP built to simplify cybersecurity for every organization. Whether you need MDR, XDR, compliance fast-tracked, or end-to-end security without the enterprise price tag, CyberUptive brings FedRAMP ready solutions and real human expertise to the fight. If you're serious about reducing risk and leveling up your security stack, then my friends, go over to cyberuptive.com because cybersecurity shouldn't be complicated. It should be CyberUptive. Go to cyberuptive.com to learn more. And as always, DM me for an epic demo or complimentary cybersecurity assessment. Welcome to the show, friends. My name is EP. This is Epic Hype, where we don't just talk about ideas. We actually ignite game-changing moves for founders, CEOs, and subject matter experts for startups and all the like. Today's episode features a man whose career doesn't just belong in a resume. It actually belongs in a Hall of Fame. For 23 straight years, through cyber evolution, digital transformation, ransomware waves, elections, public safety modernization, and every curveball the modern threat landscape could actually throw at him, he stood on the front lines protecting one of the most complex digital ecosystems in the United States. Yeah, you got that right. Fairfax County. It's not just a county. It's practically a state-sized operation. Check this. With over 1.1 million residents, Fairfax has a population larger than Wyoming, Vermont, Alaska, and North Dakota combined. And the man joining me today was the guardian of it all. He led cybersecurity for government agencies, law enforcement, public health systems, emergency services, schools, transportation, infrastructure, the whole digital heartbeat of a massive interconnected community. Think about that. When you think about the pressure, the complexity, and the visibility for that role, calling him a legend is what I would say an understatement. And here's a fun fact most people don't know. Fairfax County was home to MAE East, one of the earliest major internet exchange points, meaning Fairfax helped shape the backbone of the modern internet as we know it. So yes, our guest didn't just defend a county, he defended a place that helped give birth to the internet itself. 2 decades, countless threats stopped, billions in government operations protected, a cybersecurity era defined by leadership, resilience, and innovation. And now, for the first time in more than 20 years, he's officially the R word, not ransomware. Retired. But legends don't retire. They just pick a new mission. So we're going to find that out today. We're going to talk about it. So today we're diving into his journey, his biggest wins, the stories nobody else out there is even talking about. And I want to know about outside the walls of Fairfax that we can actually get into, what he is actually believing into and believing every CISO needs to know, and what the next chapter looks like for a man who protected a digital city for more than 2 decades. Now, you guys know that I'm a big, huge NBA fan. When I think of some of the best ones that lace them up, I think of the GOAT that wore number 23, Michael Jordan, a guy that started his 23rd season this year, LeBron James. And when we look at some of the legends in cybersecurity, we have to give this guy right here, a man that has put 23, you see the trend, 23 years and has made his mark in cybersecurity. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former CISO of Fairfax County, the cyber guardian and public sector sentinel, and an absolute icon in his field, Mr. Michael Dent. Hello, sir.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Boy, that was nice. I like that.
Did that feel good? Just take
Yeah,
it in,
it felt
man.
good. Yeah.
Take it in. And by the way, Michael Dent's the only guy I'm allowing to call me Ed today. No, just joking. You know it's EP or Edward. Come on, man. I charge everybody $5 for every Ed. But listen,
Okay.
you call me whatever you want
Well, it's
because
not as
you are a
bad as
legend.
me calling you Eric in my email.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, that's right. I got to add $10 to that one. So listen, man, you're here. Like, first of all, I can't tell you how geeked out I am because on this side of the microphone, producing these things, like when I get one of those guests where I'm like, God, I wonder if I could get him. I wonder if she would actually come on. Sometimes they're just super fun. Sometimes they're just enlightening. This is one that I'm going to be like the people listening. I'm going to learn. So just for everybody out there, there's no prep. I haven't spent an hour with Michael. Here, a little cheat though. I do know him, and he worked with me when I was working over at Silence, and he invited me to come out and do cybersecurity awareness. That was fun, getting in front of people there in Fairfax. But hey, this isn't about me. This is about you. How does it feel? You know, I was asking at the top, but is it kind of like you waking up and kind of pinching yourself and go, "What am I going to do today? Anything I want."
It is kind of surreal because, quite honestly, Pete, what you don't know is I live in Bryce now, which is out western part of the state of Virginia. My wife and I moved out here 2 years ago. I've spent the last 2 years staying at a condo, a buddy of mine's condo in Fairfax for 4 days in the week, usually leaving on Friday afternoons, coming back here. But I'm getting ready to build a shop. I do a lot of woodwork and metal work, so hopefully that gets done. I'll be able to do that. But I've jumped both boots first into continuing on with working my mission of really helping state and local government leadership understand their accountability, their culpability with cybersecurity, and what they need to do to make sure they protect the data for their citizens who elected them and put them in those positions. And that's really what my mission is. At the same time, I'm going to be working with industry. I'm not selling products, but I'm selling the ideas. I'm selling strategies. That's what I really want to do for leadership, because I think people ask me what's the biggest issue or what's the biggest risk. The biggest risk is leadership, as far as
Well,
I'm
I love
concerned.
the fact that you're going to continue. I mean, look, you're a walking billboard. You're a walking resource. I was kind of coming up with some names of a book that if you haven't started, you absolutely need to. And just the names that we put on that book, just based on the projects you've touched, the people that you've been involved with. It's amazing. And, you're talking about the 12 grandkids. I mean, the stories that you get to tell to those kids, and how many of them are going to want to grow up and, take computer science and be encouraged to go out there and learn how to ethically hack, learn how to code. And think about it, Michael, with agentic AI, with, the tools that are out there today that you didn't have 23 years ago, and how much more effective they can be. Let's get into it, man. 23 years, looking back, what's the single biggest cybersecurity transformation that Fairfax County actually went through under your leadership? If you had I know there's a lot, but going back 23 years, what's one that really stood out for you?
Well, I mean, God, AP, that's so hard to do because we've made so many accomplishments at Fairfax. You know, I can go from our initial architecture upgrade where we went from the two firewalls and one IDS to essentially a Fortune 500 company enterprise, you know, with multiple DMZs, you know, microsegmentation. You know, everybody's talking about all these new ways and things to do. Microsegmentations, we've been doing that for 15 plus years at Fairfax. But you know, one of my proudest things was, and you mentioned it, was silence. It was AI and machine learning. You know, I took a big leap going in that direction when I went with silence on our endpoints. And quite honestly, dude, I haven't had any breaches in 23 years. And I attribute a lot of that was, you know, and I feel sorry, and I'm knocking on wood for
Yeah.
my new CISO there, Charlie Gore, because he's got to keep that, he's got to take the mantle and keep it going. But I know that when we implemented that on our endpoints, we didn't see anything anymore. I mean, my users, my stupid users could keep clicking on links. They could do all that stupid stuff they were doing. And we were quarantining it. We were finding it, and things just didn't happen anymore.
Right.
And you know, I have a chart that, you know, the CISOs, or the sleeping position of a CISO or of executives in an enterprise. It has the you know, the chairman, the deputies, the CIO, and it always has the CISO's bed empty because we're constantly doing things.
Right.
Well, I put myself in that bed when I bought silence because I could sleep at night. I knew I didn't have to worry about things. And, you know, I've dealt with so many different things. And I honestly think by doing that implementation with AI back then, and that's over 10 years ago now,
Right.
implementing AI and machine learning, it afforded me the opportunity to be able to go out and become part of groups where we could talk about common sense issues, which to me, that's cybersecurity. It's not rocket science, it's common sense. And I was able to start, you know, talking to other jurisdictions. I became part of the National Association of Counties, sitting on their boards. You know, people started to see and hear when I would talk about what AI and machine learning could do for you to help you defend. Then some people, I think, started to grasp that. A lot of people started to look at it. And to me, today, even today, you still have people who fear AI.
I want to talk about that. So not to interrupt you, but this is a good segue to where I want to go off script. Because you just laid something out. So, I mean, Michael, 10 years ago, here you were implementing technology that had AI in it. Let me say that again. 10 years ago, I was the dude on the phone trying to get guys like you to take a demo and take a look at how we're utilizing artificial intelligence. But I couldn't say that. I had to say something else because I get laughed off the phone. This is actually, this is 2014. So I had to say machine learning. I was saying math. I was saying machine learning. Machine learning is what actually that's what actually people picked up on, saying, oh, you mean like Amazon is doing it, and Microsoft and Google. Oh, okay. But now AI is everywhere. And Michael, I know with the pack that you are associated with, I know a lot of CISOs that, man, they're at this crossroads, which is, I don't want to turn left and go down the AI path yet, the transformation. And if I turn right, is it right? How much longer do I wait? There's a lot of people watching the early adoption. There's a lot of people, and man, do I talk to a lot of these companies that have great platforms, but a lot of them don't have the enablement piece. How are you going to get Michael there? When I was able to give you silence back in the day, you brought it in, our team came over, the Threat Zero team, the professional services, the engagement, some of the best and the best, but they made you feel like, we got you, man. Well, with AI today, Michael, are you hearing that being a heavy part of the hesitancy? The guys in your position are like, I'm not sure I'm ready yet. Can I trust it? Is it going to work? Am I going to get the ROI from this? Talk about that.
Well, majority of it is, and it's simple. The majority of it is what data is going into it? Where's it going to live? How are you going to protect it from me? and how do I keep it so that it's only mine? Because you have Microsoft, you have Azure, all of these AI, Google, all of them, they want you to put that data into their large language models. They want to build more large language models. Every software that's come across our desk now to help supplement our businesses and what they're doing, they have AI, or they don't have AI, or they don't even know they have AI in their products they're trying to sell us.
Right.
And the CISOs are afraid that, of course, it's going to be data loss. They're going to lose that data. That data is going to become public. It's going to expose them to something. So trying to figure out how you secure that, and some of them have done that, and, where you can buy your own instance and do the things you need to do, and that your data is yours. No one's going to be able to get to it and utilize it. And especially the companies, and I'm talking more, Azure and all of them,
Sure.
you name it, they're going to use AI the way you want it to be used, because you're using your data there. They're going to help you figure that out, and they're going to secure it to what you expect it to be secured. That you've got to know what that is. A lot of people don't yet, because they just kept pushing AI to the back burner, and they're afraid to make that leap.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you that the one thing being a CISO is you got to get past yourself, and you got to get past being afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen. You learn from them. I mean, and when you have an entity that's selling you that technology, that can stand up with you, work with you side by side, help you make sure that where you're going is the right direction, and offering any kind of services that they can do to help you, it gives the CISO a better feeling to do that. Now, what I don't see is a lot of CISOs trying to make that first step.
Yeah.
And to me, that's concerning, because that means the bad guys get ahead of us with AI.
Yep.
And come at us, a lot faster and a lot harder.
Yep.
And it's easier for them, because they don't operate under rules, regulations, and policies. They're just out to torment, rip, steal, do whatever they can.
Michael, do you think they're hesitant? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Do you think they're hesitant because they're scared because of their job, or because of the stress of, man, my head's if I make this decision, it's coming down on me? How do you have the best of both worlds, where to take that jump, to take that leap of faith? And hey, like you just said, and I believe it's not just with the CISOs, I think it's really with any career, but how do you take that leap without being worried? Is it a matter of trust in the team or the brand that you work for, the corporation, or something else?
Well, AI is not going to take anybody's job. I think it's going to shift the jobs, around and what people do. But you've always got to have the human element in there to do that verification. And it's trust but verify. It's the same thing with AI. You have to do that. In EP, I'll tell you, there's a company out there now that I'm on their cybersecurity of excellence committee that they have, I'm helping them build large language model. It's a AI specific to cybersecurity. All that their CCO does is fill it with information around cybersecurity. It could be, CVEs, it can be incidents, things that happen. And this AI now is creating this capability for CISOs to have their engineers, their analysts utilize that AI to help defend what they have. And me as a CISO, the biggest problem I have as a CISO is the mundane administrative stuff, memorandums, things like that. This type of AI can do that for me, where it would take staff months.
Is it automate? Can you give them a plug? Is this something you can drop their name here?
Yeah, it's called Blackwire AI.
Blackwire AI. All right.
Yes.
Well, I definitely.
It's founded by a lot of veterans, which I'm a veteran. So for me,
very cool. Thank you for your service, by the way, my friend.
Yeah, and that's a plus for me, because I don't know, the military mindset and the way we think, it's a little bit different than the rest of the people, and it's not any better, but it's a different mindset. And so we kind of look at things a little bit differently. And, it goes back to this whole conversation we're having. What I want to stress, what I want to talk about is the problem we have in our industry today. It's not technology. It's not people. It is the leadership who make the decisions as to whether or not we can implement this new technology, who control the purse strings, who really want to, they're essentially worried about their careers. Then they're really not worried about whether or not they're going to get breached. They know if the breach happens, it's going to hit the fan. They don't want to hear about how much it costs to make sure it doesn't hit the fan. And that's very frustrating to me. And that's probably been the crux of what I've had to deal with. Any angst I've had over the years is fighting leadership. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'll go to, and I'll give you some good stories here and there and how you get budget. Being in government, it's very political. When you hit this level at the CISO level, you're in politics and you've got to figure out how that works. You know, for me, one of my toughest challenges was getting funding, getting the things I needed. But boy, when opportunities hit you, you need to jump on them and take them. Because for me, you know, I come in, I find out, you know, 87% of the internet use is porn. The libraries are connected to the same network as us. And let me tell you what these citizens were looking at the libraries. It looked pretty bad. So for us, we had to figure out how to protect against that. So I got permission to start filtering, blocking. I started doing that. And then lo and behold, I get an internet alert that an executive was at a porn site.
Wow.
And let me tell you, when that happens, you know, there was this, I guess, thing going on in the county when people saw me walking with a red folder, someone was in trouble or someone was going to get fired. And I went to my CIO and I walked in to the office, laid down the folder. CIO said, "Who is it?" And I said, "They're down the hall." And the CIO goes, "All right, well, you go talk to the county executive about it then, because I'm not." So I had to go down to the county executive. I go down there and I walk in and he's like, "Don't put that on my desk. Who is it?" You know, and I said, "They're down the hall from here." And he's like, "You handle it."
Oh my gosh, I love that.
So I walk down the hall and I knock on the door, you know, door's open. I go into the individual's office. I shut the door and he's like, "You don't have to shut the door." "Oh yeah, I do." And I shut the door and I walk over and I lay it on his desk and he opens it, a couple pages, he closes it, puts it on his credenza. "It'll never happen again. Thank you. Have a nice day." I walked out. Guess what? I got my budget from that point on.
I love that.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that that's how it has to happen, but sometimes it is. You would hope that leadership would understand when you come to them, if you're not crying wolf, if you're really giving them a risk and a problem, they're going to give you a budget as much as they can, whatever it is. I know everyone's budgets are different, but that's how I had to work that.
Michael, 75% of the people listening to this, watching this, are not going to need the answer, but the other 25, I want to make sure that we're educating. Everybody needs to understand behind this that that person that was watching those was on those websites, if when they click on a banner or anything inside of those websites, malicious. There are malicious files, ransomware could be in there, and that kind of thing could bring the entire Fairfax County, everything that Michael is defending against. So when he's coming with that red folder, it's not that he's trying to get somebody in trouble. He's going to say, "You're going to stop." I love that. Might be the title of the book, The Red Folder. That is amazing, man. I love that.
Stupid should be painful. There's no crying in security. You name it. There's, you know, a couple names. When I saw that question, a couple of names I was trying to figure out. There is, you know, there's a thing that's going around. A couple of people from industry have started this whole thing in all the groups and things that I'm able to be a part of now. They all, whenever I walk into an event, or I walk into a cigar bar, or I walk into a dinner, these individuals, and these are high-level individuals from feds, from industry, they all break out, "I am the CISO of the county," and that's to Glenn Campbell's lineman of the county, or Wichita lineman. So now that's a big thing that happens. And so for me, the book might be CISO of the county.
I love that.
So I just wanted to give you that little tidbit of that. That's how that started. And over on that table is a lineman hat, and on it is a sticker that says CISO of the county.
Nice.
So
Excellent.
it's
You said
something that
lineman.
they've made
Oh,
available.
lineman. Yeah, lineman is
Yeah, lineman.
as in telephone line.
Right. Yeah. But
That's
it's tongue to that song, that the melody of that
oh
song.
my
So
gosh, there's so much in here. If I had had that story, I would have put the title down below. Yeah, that would have changed it, right? The last CISO
oh
sighting is
yeah.
what I had. God, there's so many questions, so many places I want to go. Let's get. I want to ask this one about Fairfax. What's one achievement at Fairfax? You got to put your fingerprints all over that place. What's one achievement at Fairfax that the public probably never sees, but you're incredibly proud of? It's something that, you know, you get a chance here to kind of like boast, not because you have no ego, not to be just be your humble self, but like what can you share that people that live near, around, or very much aware of how large of a county that is? I mean, I got it on the screen there, 1,000,000 plus people. Anything you want to share on that aspect?
Well, it's pretty simple, and I said it before: 23 years plus, zero breaches, zero malware, zero ransomware.
That is huge.
They don't understand, because what I think, and I think is through these last events of my retiring, I've had several of our board members speak on my behalf, and when they clearly say, and it's kind of weird, and young CISOs or people coming into being a CISO aren't going to understand, your main job for political or politicians and the politicals that are in your organization is they don't want to be in the paper first and foremost.
Yep.
They want the reputation of the county to remain intact or your business be intact. And then they want the data to be protected.
Yes.
And for me, getting the opportunity, and I'm going to tell you, we've had several county executives, and the one that's there now, Brian Hill, he essentially took the CISO position, put it into an executive role where, reporting risk went directly to the county executive and the board, not to the CIO. That's instrumental in making sure you get your mission accomplished, where you understand the risk is that they own that risk, those politicians and those leaders, because they control the money and the budget. If they're not aware of the risks, and if you have a CIO who's not allowing you to report that risk up, that CIO is now culpable and is the reason why your executives, your reputation of your county will be embarrassed, because you're not allowed to give them the full risk and what mitigation steps you need to get to. And for me, it is really about making sure you have the ability to report the risk to the highest levels, because if you don't and you get hit, everybody's going to blame you.
Yeah.
They're going to blame your staff. And I think the accomplishment being that having zero breaches, zero malware, having the board members speak on my behalf at my retirement ceremony, they said it all. They were like, "You did your job, Mike. We were never in the paper. We never had to explain to our constituents why their data was compromised. We never lost our bond rating. We never had to invoke our cyber insurance. We didn't have to do any of those things," which essentially says you did your job above and beyond.
I don't think people can really comprehend what you're saying right now, because there's like everybody is so numb to it. Oh, we're going to get hit. We know we're going to get hit. They get cybersecurity insurance. That's not going to cover it.
That bullshit, and sorry for the language.
Yeah, no,
that
it's safe
bullshit,
here.
that bullshit of if it's not if but when is it's a crutch.
Yes.
That they all fall back on because they don't want to invest money. And for me, it should be. It's not going to happen if we build to prevent it. We have to build to prevent, not just defend. Preventing it means you're putting security in at the beginning of a solution, at the beginning of an endeavor you're going down for servicing your citizens. So to me, it's that if it's not if but when is such a crutch that those executives stand on, because I've heard my old CIOs have all said, well, all my data has been compromised by OPM. What does it matter now? So why do we need to invest?
Right.
And that's a bunch of crap. It shouldn't be that way, because I got 1 million plus citizens who don't know that and don't want to hear, well, we knew everything else was already compromised anyway. So
Yeah. It's a cop
That's
out.
just not going to float.
A cop out. Great leadership lesson you're dropping. And I want you to keep on that angle for the young ones, the cybersecurity, the young cybersecurity professionals coming up. What's a lesson that you could give to all the young cyber professionals that can understand or should understand before stepping into government service?
I guess it would be, I don't know, it's simple: stubbornness, discipline, and having a moral compass. You've got to be willing to speak the truth to power, even when they don't like it. I mean, and I've had to do some brutal briefings about certain things that were going on, and you just have to have the cojones, the spine, to be able to tell them the truth. What you don't want to do, though, is you don't want to cry wolf. You don't want to tell them, here's my problem, and it's going to cost me so many millions of dollars to fix it, without having some kind of strategy or plan. So making sure, one, the moral compass is a big thing, because you're going to hear things from executives that, I want an exception because I am who I am. So I don't want to have that multi-factor authentication. I just want, most of them will say, I don't want a password, but I don't want to do multi-factor. It's inconvenience to me. You have to be able to go, well, you know what, our policy says this is why we do it this way, and this is how it's going to be. And I had to do that multiple times, and quite honestly, once you're in government, I mean, unless you're derelict at your job, and you're not doing a good job, you're late, you don't show up, you're a bum, whatever it is, they're not going to fire you because you are doing your job. Right. And I can tell you the biggest thing that I think, because one of the other things when I got there was we were operating by the exception. Our governance was by the exception to policy, not policy first. And I instituted a formal risk notification program where they would have to submit for an exception on a form. That form clearly had a signature block for them, and it said right above their name that by signing this, you understand your agency budget will be paying for any mitigation or things we have to do to fix it because of this exception. Guess what? Exceptions stopped coming in. Yeah. They didn't want them anymore. And the county exec started to hold his leadership for his agencies accountable for cyber. Accountable.
Yep. I was just going to say.
And doing that, and it's, I get on a soapbox about it, EP. It is our problem in cyber. It's not, there's no other thing. I mean, technology and people are there. We know what to do, but we've got to be able to have those things in order to get them done. And that's all about budget. And that's where we need leaders to start investing in that.
Well, I like how you've created, I think, through the years. I mean, I don't know this, so I don't want to put words out there, but you can tell me if I'm hot or cold. You have probably done a really good job building the bridge between the executive leadership team for them to understand, be educated, and informed the risk reward. Hey, if we don't do this, here's what's going to happen. If we do this, here's what's going to happen. Here's why we need this, and then use the politics as you gave that example earlier. Right. So, am I hot or am I cold on that?
You're exactly right on it. I mean, and for me, another thing CISOs need to understand is when you brief them on the risks, and if it's a normal briefing where you're just going through the metrics of everything that are going on, but if you have a real risk and you brief them on it, I've always operated from the strategy of, I'm going to bring them that risk. I'm going to give them 3 options to mitigate that risk. And there is always the 4th option that I have to accept, and that is they may accept that risk. But in documenting those things are the critical pieces of that. So you come in and you give them a strategy, and it may cost you $500,000 to mitigate this risk, and your board's going to say, well, we just don't have that in the budget. Well, then you're going to go, well, all right, so if you don't have that much, I can start mitigating some of this risk with this amount, and over a certain period of time, I can get to where we are mitigated completely. So give them those options. And my staff always worked under the strategy of, we never say no, but we say no with these options.
Right. Yeah, you come with the game plan.
Right. And the hardest thing for the staffs and, for my deputy and for them to understand was, you got to accept if they accept the risk.
Right.
But you document it, make sure they know they've accepted it formally.
Yep.
And now it's on them. Because what I've always tried to do is to protect my staff, protect the agency. When we notified them of risk, that was our mission. That's what we had to do. And quite honestly, I saw the return on investment from that, because it would be one-on-ones with board members, one-on-one with the county exec, and I had a relationship with the county exec. I could go to his office anytime without an appointment.
Nice.
He'd see me and he'd be like, come on in.
Yep.
It didn't matter who was in his office.
As long as you didn't have a red folder.
Well, the red folders actually went away because everything was online now. We moved all of our incidents.
Okay, so it's a red flag. It's a red flag. Michael, I want to talk about numbers real quick, and then we're going to play a game. How many people did you oversee? Like, how many people in your organization?
So the IT agency, well, the county employees, we had, I want to say anywhere between 12 to 18, depending on the year and the season, because we'd have volunteers and all of that. The IT agency at the most was 350 people. And the security office, I think I left and we had a total of 13, including my position.
And how many departments altogether?
Almost, I want to say it was about 52 to 60 departments.
Amazing.
And that's everything from parks and rec to health to public safety, fire rescue, emergency management, you name it, community services, everything, family services.
That's a lot on your plate. That's a lot. There's got to be, I would assume that there's got to be a natural high to that. Like and listen, you're a veteran, so I know where you get your process, right? You probably got it, if not from your folks, you then got it when you're in the service, and that's awesome. I commend you for that, and you taking that forward and teaching people, the number of people that you've hired, the number of people that you've mentored, to now walk away from all that. What's next? Are you thinking? You mentioned a little bit. It sounded like it might be a little bit of consulting, mentorship, a hammock on the beach, or all the above. Like what's life after Fairfax for you? What's it going to look like?
I wish that there was a hammock on the beach, but that's not going to happen. But the beauty of it is, up here at Bryce, there is a golf course, so there's a lot of that in my future. But nice. I do have my own company. I have my company is called CISO 360.
Okay.
I've had that for about 8 years. I've actually consulted federal CIOs. The county has allowed me that outside opportunity to help federal CIOs with some of the things they were doing. And now I'm actually a senior fellow with eRepublic. That happened right away. And I'm working with Loudoun County and Fairfax County, and we're building what we're calling a national public safety exchange, where we're trying to help law enforcement. I've noticed over the past few years, a lot of law enforcement's getting hit with ransomware. And it's sad to say, but I'd say about 87% of law enforcement agencies in this country have no backup capability, no resiliency. So we're hoping this public safety exchange will give them an opportunity to have that at a very affordable price, because for me, it's all about being able to afford that for them. And so we're really trying to build something. And I'm doing, again, being where I'm at in Fairfax, I have such an opportunity to be so close to the federal government that I'm using my connections that I've built over the years to try and look for some federal funding to help subsidize some of that for them. And then, of course, I'm a part of Blackwire AI, and now I've got a couple of other companies that want to talk to me about being on some of their boards.
Yeah, that'll keep you busy.
Anything I can do, EP, that's going to help the state and locals truly get to where they have some kind of cyber resiliency is what I really want to be able to continue doing.
That's awesome. Between all of those things and the 12 grandkids, and obviously the one that gets the most credit here, Mrs. Dent.
Yes.
Listen, you're not going to get bored. You're going to have plenty to do, and then you're going to get to pick the days you want to go swing the clubs. And when I'm over in the East next in your backyard, I would love to go hang out at the Bryce Golf Course with you.
Oh, open invitation.
I absolutely love what you've laid out here. Some precious gold nuggets, and we've been serious, but now I want to bring a little bit of laughter to the party. You want to play a game?
All right, let's go.
All right, here we go, Mr. Dent. We're going to play rapid fire DNA. Here's how it works. 10 and 90. I'm going to ask you 10 questions, and you got 90 seconds. 90 seconds to get through these. If you do, you get the status today of epic gain. And if you slip, and I don't think you will, that's an epic fail. But you, my friend, I got a lot of faith in you here. So 90 seconds. So think of this. Don't think too long. Be quick. 10 doesn't seem like that long, but trust me, it goes by quick, and we want to make sure that you get to the epic gain status. So you ready to play?
Let's go.
Okay, let me get my clock going here. 90 seconds on the clock is going to start officially right now. All right, number one. What time did you wake up on your first day of retirement?
6:30.
Coffee or cocktails now that you're off the clock?
Both.
First city you want to visit without having to check email?
Oh, that's probably going to be Vegas.
What's harder to manage, threat actors or weekend home projects?
Weekend home projects.
Are you more excited to sleep in or update nothing in a change management system ever again?
Oh, update nothing.
What's scarier, ransomware or your honeydew list?
Ransomware.
Do you have a retirement uniform like flip-flops, Crocs, or cargo shorts?
Golf attire.
There we go. Will you ever miss incident response war rooms?
No.
Good answer. Do you still instinctively hover over every link before clicking on it?
You betcha.
That's right. And the last one, retirement motto is, I earned this, I survived this, or I'm just getting started, baby.
I earned it, and I am just getting started.
That's right. Look at that. 1 minute and 12 seconds. Michael Dent, you get an epic gain. That's right. No surprise there. I knew that you'd get through that quickly. And hey, we got some laughter along the way. So thank you very, very much for playing that game. Michael, shameless plugs, as we call them. You laid out some gold nuggets out there, and you laid out some websites and some real valuable things where people can continue to watch you and get more information on. What's like an easy way for somebody watching this today if they want to reach out and give you a ping? Is it a LinkedIn? Is it an email? Is it a website? Go for it.
Yeah, it is LinkedIn. LinkedIn right now I have a website coming. It's called CISOofthecounty.com. It'll be coming out pretty soon. I was able to get it, and so I'm going to be trying to build that up a little bit. And then, hopefully I'll have some folks be able to just reach out to me, and anytime they want to, and I'm more than happy to help anywhere I can with anything when it comes related to leadership, cyber, and someone needing help to get a program working.
So here's the thing I'm going to leave you with today. So thank you for sharing that out. What you guys have heard and what you guys have seen, I think there's a certain stigma out there for a lot of CISOs that they are kind of like maybe a celebrity, and they're hard to get to. They're hard to talk to once you're in front of them. They might not be the friendliest of people. You got to think about, what are you trying to ask them? And are you being respectful to their time? Because they don't have a lot of it. You think of them when they're at Black Hat, RSA, a couple of big security shows, or just at one of these engagements that Michael is hanging out with other fellow CISOs. They have limited time. So what I love about you, Michael, is what we saw and what we hear today. It's you. You're not a different person. This is the same guy I've heard, I've seen, and I love how you love to give back. You're paying it forward. I know you're still mentoring people. I know you're putting your heart and your soul into those businesses that you shared with us today. And I personally, absolutely 100% want to get engaged and help you out in ways that I can, whether it's from a sales perspective or marketing or branding, just putting the word out there. You always have a seat here. You always have a place to come onto my stage and hype anything for the better good of the network, the cyber community. And Fairfax definitely lost a legend, but they gained all your fingerprints on what they have to this day to stay safe. And hopefully, Charlie, you listening? You keep it going. And you always got a phone call away to call this guy. So, Michael, you, my friend, are epic. Thank you very much for your time. Did you have fun today?
I had a blast, DP. This was awesome, man. I hope a lot of young folks get to see it. People coming up. it's not rocket science. It's common sense, and it's having that moral compass and a set of cojones that, you can do it, and you got hired to do it. So do the job that you've been asked to do.
Amen to that. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to definitely stay in touch with you. And I appreciate you coming on the show.
Awesome. Thank you, EP.
Cheers, my friend. Man, I'm telling you, Michael Dent, he's such a good dude. I mean, I really do mean everything you just saw, everything you just heard. That's Michael Dent, great legend of his time and what he's done there for Fairfax and what he did here for us here on epichype. I'm very appreciative. Hey, let's give another plug to our sponsor for today. Today's episode was fueled by Cyberuptive, the MSSP that's flipping cybersecurity on its head. Forget slow, forget overpriced, forget complicated. Cyberuptive delivers instant on security, Fed ramped grade protection, MDR, XDR compliance, and a full stack cyber team that moves at startup speed. If you want enterprise level defense without enterprise level headaches, well, then go over to cyberuptive.com. Cyberuptive, because threats don't wait, and neither should your security. You can reach out to me for a demo or to get yourself a nice complimentary cybersecurity risk assessment. Wow, what a show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. To catch more full-length epichype episodes and short clip content, please follow me on Insta at Epic Starts with EP. Again, that's Epic Starts with EP. And you can also find more entertaining episodes on YouTube, my YouTube channel at Epic Starts with EP for the Epic Hype Show. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe today. That's a wrap. Tied up with a bow. My name is EP. This is Epic Hype, reminding all of you that everything epic starts with EP. I'll see you next time.
Let me get a